Well, it's still January 12th, 2023. Okay. Um, I told you I went to Muskers Park today. Some kids pull in and said, Karen's Will, the FBI informant's here. What is she doing walking in the park? All right. Well, I'm trying to distress. I quit smoking almost 100 days ago. Okay. Kids are in there. We all know it's Dave's crazy girlfriend doing this to her, Michelle. All right. And they were stealing, and they were talking about them stealing everything I had. Okay. Okay. That agent that bullied me, I went to Massillon today. I had to get my taxes done, my local taxes, and get it mailed out. Okay. Then I went and sat down, outside McDonald's close to downtown and started giving my statement. People started screaming. They sold the login. Okay. They sold the login. So all these people have it. Police are pulling in around me. Okay. Maslin works the case. So I started way back when it began that we had got that loan for the driveway, and then $5,000 to $6,000 disappeared from the safe, and then all of a sudden my car is getting scratched up, and it uh my car's getting scratched up, and we got a security system. By fall, I found Dave crying in the changing room. I can't, I can't, I can't. I go in and I'm like, who you talking to? No one. He grabs me, he squeezes me, puts his head into my body, crying. I'm wiping his tears. Why can't you? And I said, who you talking to? No one. I had to help him back to bed. He fell asleep. Okay. I got up to call and a woman answered, just do it. He's like, what are you doing? I went nothing and got in bed, and I thought, what on earth? He was leaving to work early. I tried to get Dixie to follow him. Thank God she didn't. He bragged to Daniel, my grandson, enjoy Grandma now, you won't have one after Christmas, and made him cry and wouldn't quit picking at him, okay? Scaring him to death, all right? He went to work early again, and he called me. He said, Karen, I'm in trouble later on that night. I said, why are you in trouble? I crashed a machine. I said, so, uh, what, so? He's like, I have to have a drug test. Well, we're Christians. I used to not even smoke cigarettes. We don't do drugs. He said, you don't understand. I'm in trouble. And, he, uh, he said, you just don't understand. I'm in trouble. Well, here he had been exposed to someone doing pot so long they had to send it off to make sure he didn't participate. Okay, and he yeah, that he didn't participate, and he it was so high we got suspended for a few days till they got it back. Okay, well he got home one night. Now, that day, I had tarred around our old 1938 house. We had old 1938 windows with plexiglass on the outside. You could have pulled the plexiglass off, pushed in the window, slipped down, turned the electric off, and turned off the low security system and came out and killed me. Well, I had tarred around the house, and it sealed tight against that plexiglass window. Okay. I couldn't get the old hose off, so I popped it up with a rake. And he got home, we got in bed. I heard pop, pop, bang, bang. The puppies are screaming in the basement. You gonna go check? He said no. And I kept looking out the window. And I couldn't see anything. And I finally got back in bed and waited for the security system to go off. It didn't go off, so I just went to sleep. Got up the next morning. The tennis pulled down. The plexiglass is cracked, not broke, and where it sealed tight, and they fell all over the rake. You can see everything disarrayed. And where the puppies were screaming, they took off. Okay. We called the Perry police. And he said that it makes no sense. Uh, why wouldn't they go through an upstairs window? He said they knew where the security system was. The Perry officer was all over me, or part of it. And he said they're individually set up. He says something else. He puts them in the middle of it. And I'm standing there. We've been married 30 years. I got my mouth dropped open. And he said, uh, you're a part of it. And he said something else, and I'm like, he's misspeaking, right? We've been married 30 years. I'm like, sir, will you just drive by? He's like, ma'am, we'll be driving by and I'll be checking on you. He got his finger in Dave's face. He storms off. Okay. Well, Christmas time, we bought John's kids, my oldest kids, his kids, bikes for Christmas. Her sister was in town from Florida. I knew they wouldn't be coming over because she has company. So we drive the bikes over there, and they weren't home. And we called them. We got permission to leave them in the house. We had great big name tags on them that I had made with ribbon. And we left them in the kitchen with our gift cards. Well, we did some run around. We either came back that day or the next day, and they were having a buffet dinner. And we went in and they were talking. And I said, "Did you like your bikes? Why? You didn't buy them. Some other lady in the church bought them." Okay. And I said, "What do you mean some other lady in the church bought them?" And they're making fun of Dave for having partnesses. Okay. So March, our house is up for sale. Bill German was our realtor. He wasn't always in the area, and he'd let me show it. Well, I had talked to Dave all day, like I always did. And he's like, I told him I was going to go out to Belton for coffee, just get out, get some air, and go for a ride. Well, let me know when you're ready. I said, okay, well, give me 10, 15 minutes. So I got all cleaned up and I went to leave. I said, hey, I'm going to leave. He's like, hey, go Lincoln Way. I said, I always go down to Bailey. And he's like, go Lincoln Way, Karen. And he starts yelling at me really bad. And I'm like, don't have a cow kind of thing. It's like, fine. I've lived there 25 years. I can jump Lincoln Way. It's not that big a deal. So I go and it was open. It's like, sweet. I jumped 5 lanes. And at the next road over, Zavis, there's a car sitting there. I thought, well, I'll get in the other lane. Well, I jumped 5 lanes, got right behind me. I'm like, that's weird. The other lane's open. So I move over. He moves over. I'm like, that's weird. So I go down to Genoa and I go to turn. And he goes to turn. It's like, that's weird. And I'm like, they knew where the security system was. Don't panic, don't panic. Go back down. I'm thinking, go back down to Genoa, go on Genoa and Bailey, and turn back. And if he's following you, call the police or go to where someone's home. I just got a bigger black SUV, and I had my foot on. I only had it for like a month or two. Put on the brake, wheel turn left. One car goes by 2. He hit me doing 45, got stuck between me and the building. The Perry police showed up. He would have rolled you if you wouldn't have had your foot on the brake. He would have killed me that day. And he's like, I know he's up to something and I can't prove it. He said, I can't let you go home alone. Had me call Dave. He was Harold Strange's great niece's Facebook friend. I didn't know there was a hit on my life. Okay. I go to help Terry clean out her apartment. I clean up her apartment. I had bought her totes, organized different things, worked for hours on it. She never walked me out before, and I had boxes where I had bought the totes and organized everything for her. She gave me some extra boxes because we're going to be moving. And we, I walk out and we're open up the car door and I'm loading up the boxes. I always said light gray to light blue van pulls up underneath a street light. She thought it was white. Forgive me, it was midnight, glare from a street light. Side door goes open, tall white man, black hair, grayish white hoodie, jeans, white tennis shoes. I got her. Hood goes up over his head. I'm like, go back in the building. She picks up that walker and she takes off running. I already have the boxes in my hands. I fling them into the car, slam down the trunk. I run around, jump in, throw it, start it, throw it in reverse, and I slam on the brakes to slow it in gear. He hits the back of my vehicle. She got away, and he lunges around the building, and I scream and go forward, and I could see her standing in the entranceway. And I'm screaming, peeling out of Maslin, okay? right, Lordy. All right. We keep getting changing dates to uh, uh, close on both houses. I'm looking at pod delivery, semi delivery, and it's so expensive. And I was looking at the different options. I found a storage unit, a big storage unit, really cheap in Green. And I thought, well, it's like halfway. I'll just start unloading it up to there. All right. And we'll just, that way we can take our time unloading it in the house since it's just us. So I start loading everything into that storage unit. Mostly me and Danny, me, Tyler, Daniel, my grandson, and then Danny, and then Gabe, and then sometimes Dave, and sometimes Josh, or I don't even know if Josh had time to help with that. But we unloaded a lot, just me and the kids and grandkids. And then Dave did some, but he was always working. And getting that house cleaned out, the garage cleaned out, uh, and then loading stuff down at Danny's. Okay? Because he kept changing the dates. And I thought I can always sleep in a hotel. I can sleep at one of the kids' house, but I got to get all that stuff in a unit. All right. And since they're not giving me definite dates, I'm just going to put it in storage. So that's what I did. And we were lucky enough to close on both days finally. All right. So the second day we're up there, we go down and we get a load. Okay. And I want to get curtains for the basement so it looks lived in. So we go down and pick up a load from Danny's, and we go down to Maslin Walmart in the evening. My oldest son, John, his kids come running at us. Grandma, Papa, what you doing here? Buying curtains for the basement. What are you doing? I don't know. Moment in time past each other, okay? Dave always made me follow him, and I was always scared something would fall out on me and come towards me. But he always made me follow him, so whatever. But that day, we went out into the car, and I went to get my car, and he went to get his truck. He's like, hey, I'll follow you. I'm like, I ain't gonna argue with that one. So we're on the narrow way from Maslin on the way back. There's a white car right ahead of me. All of a sudden, it turns and blocks the whole road. Turns completely sideways for no reason. Out steps jeans, cowboy boots, white man, black hair. Same profile of, whew, I got it. Okay? I can't go around him either way. He has the whole road blocked for no reason. I start throwing it in reverse. Dave, I think I'm getting carjacked. Where are you? I turn down a side road. I'm screaming, where are you? I turn down a side road. Well, I'm flooring it backwards, screaming. I look up and a white car starts coming towards us. He steps back in after he was reaching in to grab something else. And I'm screaming, oh my God, I think I'm getting carjacked. He steps back in. He straightens up his car and he peels out of there when the car started coming towards him. Peels out of there. Not just pull off to the side of the road. He peels out of there. So he's not there. Peels out of there as fast as he can, guns it. I wail, I scream, I straighten my car up, and I peel out of there. Okay? And I scream at him. You know where he catches up to me? 12 miles away. Okay? He's so mad, I'm not dead. Okay? Third day, we're going down to the storage unit. Okay? We get our bed. We get up there, and he acts like, no, we had old wood, we had wood railings with slots. He acts like you can't pick up like a 1x4. I'm like, oh, come on now. I can pick that up. He picks it up and whacks me in the finger. X-ray, iron tooth, and a couple other teeth. I have a lot of dental repair. And I'm like, why? And I'm spewing blood. You'll learn not to smart off to me. Runs and jumps in the vehicle and takes off. That's where he met Crazy Michelle and her dad, the agent out of the area. Okay? So then 3 more days later, we're down getting another load. We come home and our door's kicked into the wall. We've been up there 6 days. We don't even have a refrigerator yet. Okay? I don't even have washer and dryer still in the storage unit. Okay? It's kicked into the wall. We're looking around. You actually line the doorknob up to the wall and you can find it. Okay? We're looking around. He's like, don't report this. It was probably another realtor passing out keys. It's illegal for them to pass out keys. We've been off the market for 6 days, and they have little lock boxes. They put the keys in, give out the code. That's it. They can't give them keys. It's a legal issue. He's making up excuses because he doesn't want me to report it, because apparently they set up button cameras stalking me. By the next week, I go to mow the lawn, and now I could mow the lawn at Lennox like it was nothing. I could walk up. My son lived about a mile away. I'd walk over there, and then we'd walk around their half-mile round allotment, and then a couple times, and then walk home, me and the grandkids. I'd walk 2 or 3 miles, at least once a week, if not once every other week. Sometimes several times a week, mow the lawn at Lennox like it was nothing. But all of a sudden, after they kicked in my door, you know what happened? I was waking up with bruises. Not little bruises. Orange, lemon, and grapefruit sized bruises. Hand marks. Cut on my leg. Okay? I go out to mow the lawn. I do 1 strip. I almost pass out. 2. Almost pass out. Go to get something cold to drink. Sitting on the front porch. What's wrong with me? Okay? Neighbor next door, the house before 4490 John Thomas Road, Ravenna, comes over. He's like, I'm a nurse. I see you struggling. Can I help you? Mow the lawn. I said, I don't have money to pay you. Neighbors don't pay each other. I said, I feel bad. He said, don't, neighbor. He said, you know what? I got a grown son. You see him out there. Don't even think anything of it. Da-da-da. Make him, small talk. And he's like, I don't mind. Real nice guy. He mows it off. Okay? My family knew that happened. And they knew I was showing up with all these giant bruises all over me. And they are throwing up, getting dizzy, and almost passing out. Now, I moved that house into the storage unit to Danny's. I mowed the lawn. Why on earth would I all of a sudden get sick? Because they were date rape drugging me. There were so-called sodium pentothal reports where they bragged they were using date rape drugs on me. Okay? Really not funny. Serial killing Michelle. He met Michelle's family in that store, that agent out of the area. Okay. Like they said, they all know that is his crazy girlfriend doing this to me. They're talking about it today in Mesker's Park. That's where you hear the screaming. It's Dave's crazy girlfriend. Her drug-dealing friends. They let me work all summer long on that house. And then when they got done, where David tried to kill me before, he gets smart with me. As soon as I get done with that, almost done with the house, just the last few flower beds, says something stupid about wanting another woman. So I get out and I get a job. They have a lady impersonate me at another store from Advanced America and cost me that job. Okay? So I don't have a way to impersonate me. Now that's September 17th, 18. 17 or 18. Okay? And they find out it wasn't me and try to give me my job back. I'm talking to my one friend, ex-friend Terry, and I'm talking to her, and she's trying to get me to come down to prayer, da-da-da-da-da. Talks about watching this one lady's kid for $10 an hour. Well, I think Dave's cheating on me. So I don't hang up. After she's like, she's here, I'll let her go. Then I hear how Vegas involved for the $25,000, that it was Keith Bishop, Strange, and Ron, where she thought she hung up on me and left me on the counter. She's here, Karen, I'll let you go. I could hear walking over the door, and I hear her open. Guess who I was on the phone with? You're kidding. And they're sitting there talking about how they came up with this money because Ron wants me dead for Strange's lie. And how it was Keith Bishop, Strange, and Ron that took up the 25 grand. Okay? I gasp and I hang up because they're crazy. Okay? Sarah from Zales, her old manager that used to work with her, just went to work with Katie at Ashcroft and Oak. And so did her coworker. And Sarah still worked at Zales. And now those other 3 ladies had waited on me for years. They came up to me, Katie's leaving, the rest of them all that her church is going to have me killed. You better call the police or a detective. Okay. Dave arrogantly grabs me in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3:30, I love you, but I love her more. I'm so sorry, Karen, you have to die for. I hired a man to slit your throat, stab you in the heart. You'll bleed out, Karen. Okay? But you have to die for us to get everything. I was too afraid in the cold, dark night to move, and that he would kill me with his own bare hands as he's kissing me, squeezing me. It was sick. It was 30 minutes. It was no vivid dream. He was very much awake. I tried to claim it was a dream later on. I'm freaking out by then, thinking, how could I have been this stupid not to realize it was him and them? Okay? I go to September 21st, 18. I finally get enough nerve, I go to Giant Eagle to get something for dinner. He calls me, where are you at? I'm buying something for dinner. I got a phone call to make. Don't go. He hangs up and he won't answer. You don't process right after you've been daybreak drugged. You're confused still and a little disoriented. And I look up and they're giving flu shots, knowing I'm going to have to move out. I got to get a flu shot. I don't have anywhere to go, and they cost me that job at Advanced America. And I thought, I can't stay here. And I go ahead and get the flu shot. I walked along the long pharmacy, got dizzy, sat down on the bench. And I'm like, just breathe. I heard the voice. I can't believe she's here. Okay? And I'm like, oh my God, where is he? It's the same voice as I got her. I stand up. He comes up behind me. I would stab you right here now if it wasn't for that security guard. The lady with him said, are you just going to stab her? He said, I won't make it out for the security guard. And while they're arguing about it, if they're going to stick me, I get away from them. I go up to the bank. I want to open an account. I look over and the blonde Pizza Hut lady was a lady with him. Comes out and around me and said, I get paid to watch her. Banker yells at her, lady, stay out of it. She's like, no, I get paid to watch her. Okay? All right. And he said, lady, I mean, it won't be worth it in the end. She walks off, and the guy that tried to kidnap me, tried to carjack me, just threatened to knife me and walks off with her. Dave instantly calls me, and I put him on hold. I went out to let him know he just did it. The banker still, the male banker that was standing next to me, was still rambling, and so was that lady about what just happened. I look up and there a whole bunch of people are leaving and I get in a crowd. Now I'm freaking out so bad. I should have called 911. I should have had them hit me in the bank and called 911. But I didn't know if they had a gun to my head. I didn't know if they had somebody else ready to knife me. And I was too afraid to move. And you don't think straight. I got in my car and I drove 20 miles down to Walmart 62. I get out, an African American lady spit in my face and her and her white boyfriend were harassing me. I go in and another man with white hair, black eyes, and an eagle tattoo, 40 to 50. The other one has the same thing, the black hair, the black eyes, but he doesn't have an eagle tattoo, and they're both 6 foot, and the guy that tried to kidnap me is 30 to 40, and the other one's 40 to 50. And he wanted to shames me, and I get away from him, and I home at the end of the driveway, Dave comes up to me. My girlfriend's rich and powerful. Our family owns a place she won't be able to withstand. I told him it's not a communist country and nobody owns the place. So by the 23rd, I'm thinking if he's got connections, this is what he was playing mind games with me. So I wouldn't call the police. I called the FBI because, well, her dad is an agent out of the area and he's going to grab the case off the hotline. They were playing me. Okay? So I call the hotline and I've got the 2 Perry police reports. I've got 3 witnesses. I got them impersonating me at Advanced America. We'll have an agent call you back. This is an oh my God case. It's going to kill somebody. And bragging in a mall, they're going to kill him. And there's attempts. Get her out of there. We'll have an agent call her back. Okay. So then all of a sudden I can't get out of bed for 3 days. On the 3rd day, I got up and I'm like, I gotta call this guy back. What's wrong with me? I feel drunk and I don't drink. And I'm dizzy and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm too scared to leave the property. And it's like, I gotta get air in my face just to clear my head. So I start mowing along, going back and forth, just trying to get enough blood pumping to think. Then I got to thinking, well, I gave him serious information. And the other girls, I better call Sarah and make sure it's okay. Of course, Karen, I'm scared for you. So I went out and bought her card, put Will's number in it that he left in a message. Took it out to Zales, her manager, put it in locker, went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Pamer got into his face. My God, I had an FBI agent. My office is right there. He actually points at a Starr County sheriff. I didn't realize till I seen him in uniform. And I walk off. Dave comes in, let's go, and he threatens my life on the way home till I run for him when I get home. Next day, I have to call Will back. I call him full tears, hyperventilating. I've been being drugged up like crazy up there with date rape drugs. Okay, I couldn't figure out why I was sick, why I was dizzy and almost passing out. It's because they were drugging me up. I call him and I try to tell him what happened at Huntington Bank. You liar, you confess you're lying or I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? He said, you either say you're lying or arrest you. He said, you know what? If I pull that tape and I can't hear him threaten you where he was standing, he said, I'll put you in jail. It's going to be that bad, John. You either say it or I'll put you in jail. I'll arrest you. I'm like, what? He said, you either say it or I'll put you in jail. And I'm like, what? Now, the normal me when I hung up and called the hotline and called somebody else. That's a normal me. One that's drugged up and doesn't process right did what she was told. It's like, fine, whatever. He's like, I said I'll come up and put you in jail. Now you either say it or else. So I said it. Ha! Sick bastard. Sick bastard. Do you know if he has a girlfriend? I don't know. Some guys around me, stop, you don't know. Okay? He is like, tell me why the FBI would ever help a person like you. Well, they're going to kill me. So? But they'll kill me and I'm pleading for my life. Please help me. Don't let them kill me. So? Give me a good reason why the FBI should ever help you. Well, you're paid by the taxpayers to help me. It's your sworn duty to help me. Maybe that's a good reason. But the drugged up Karen is, please help me. Please don't let them kill me. My God, help me. Full tears, begging and pleading from this bastard. And he's like, give me a good reason. Well, my brother-in-law died working for the Pentagon. He was a private consultant for the FBI headquarters. Fine, I'll help you. See, he already knew that. See, my brother-in-law was CIA. And it comes up that we're extended family members. He actually died working for the government. He already knew that. Come on now. He already knew that. He's like, I'll list you informant. The whole thing was bullying me, demeaning me, so I'd be too afraid to say anything. He said, I'll list you informant. He said, I'll give you $5,000 a month for work in this case. You'll have money to move out when this is over. He said, nothing legally dated against you. Again, you get the diplomatic immunity for working the case. And it's for just your witness in this case against these people. They will police home surveillance. You can't be legally charged for anything again. No man will ever touch you. Then he's like, but if you tell someone else you're crazy and no one can help you. For one thing, he can't put a gag order on me. He was trying to pull me into being scared to tell anybody because he's going to steal that money because he's got a problem. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. And he can't put a gag order on me. He's not a judge. What he was considered was badgering Department of Justice 1729. They have to take your statement and follow through if they believe you or not. They can't call you a liar for any reason. They have to take your statement if they believe you or not. I even talked to a Tuscarora sheriff. They can't even tell anybody not to believe you because they can lose their badge and they go to jail. It's illegal for them to even tell anybody not to believe you. They have to take your statement and follow through. I talked to a regular officer. It's considered badgering. They lose their badge. They go to jail. It's obstruction to justice and tampering with evidence. And badgering if you bully a witness, a victim, or an informant. He wanted me to stay quiet because he was going to steal the witness protection program money. He stole over $300,000 from my case alone.